All right, today we're going to be rereading The Kite from Days with Frog and Toad so that we're ready for the test tomorrow. Remember, this is a fantasy, so when you look at the picture, what do you notice about it? Yeah, you'll notice that the frog and the toad, they're looking at books, they've got clothes on, they're sitting like people do. And remember, that is part of what a fantasy is. The genre of a fantasy has animals, have animals who can talk and act like people, and they also have things that really couldn't happen in real life. Okay? All right, let's check it out. Frog and Toad went out to fly a kite. They went to a large meadow where the wind was strong. "Our kite will fly up and up," said Frog. "It will fly all the way up to the top of the sky." "Toad," said Frog, "I will hold the ball of string. You hold the kite and run." Okay, so let's check out this beginning of the story. Let's talk about the setting. Remember, the setting is the where and the when of the story. So where is this taking place? Good. You see it's in a large meadow. A meadow is a large grassy area. Okay? And when is it happening? Is it happening at night? Is it happening at sunrise or sunset? Is it happening in the daytime? Yeah, it's happening in the daytime. You can see some clouds. It just kind of looks light out. It might not be a blue sky, but you can kind of tell because you can see the colors here. If it was nighttime, the rocks and the grass wouldn't have color, right? Because at night things kind of just all look gray and black. All right, so we know it's daytime. Let's talk about what the plot, so in the plot, we talk about a plot. Those are the events that happen in the story. So how does this story begin? What is the beginning of this plot? What are they going to do? Yeah, they're going out and they're going to be flying a kite. Okay? All right. Toad ran across the meadow. He ran as fast as his short legs could carry him. The kite went up in the air. It fell to the ground with a bump. Toad heard laughter. 3 robins were sitting in a bush. "That kite will not fly," said the robins. "You may as well give up." Toad ran back to Frog. "Frog," said Toad, "this kite will not fly. I give up." So what's the problem that they're starting to have? Yeah, they're having a problem that the kite won't fly. It's kind of a second problem, and that is that the robins aren't exactly encouraging them to. But the main problem is that the kite's not doing what they wanted it to do, which is to fly. Okay, "We must make a second try," said Frog. "Wave the kite over your head. Perhaps that will make it fly." Toad ran back across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. The kite went up in the air and then fell down with a thud. "What a joke," said the robins. "That kite will never get off the ground." Toad ran back to Frog. "This kite is a joke," he said. "It will never get off the ground." "We have to make a third try," said Frog. "Wave the kite over your head and jump up and down. Perhaps that will make it fly." Toad ran across the meadow again. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. The kite went up in the air and crashed down into the grass. "Ha ha, that kite is junk," said the robins. "Throw it away and go home." Toad ran back to Frog. "This kite is junk," he said. "I think we should throw it away and go home." "Toad," said Frog, "we need to give it one more try." So, did they get a new kite? No, they didn't get a new kite. They are giving it another try, so they didn't give up. They did not do this, right? They didn't throw it away and go home. They're actually going to give it another try with the same kite. "Wave the kite over your head. Jump up and down and shout, 'Up, kite, up.'" Toad ran across the meadow. He waved the kite over his head. He jumped up and down. He shouted, "Up, kite, up." The kite flew into the air. It climbed higher and higher. "We did it!" cried Toad. "Yes," said Frog, "if a running try did not work, a running and waving try did not work, and a running, waving, and jumping try did not work, I knew that a running, waving, jumping, and shouting try just had to work. The robins flew out of the bush, but they could not fly as high as the kite. Frog and Toad sat and watched their kite. It seemed to be flying way up at the top of the sky. So remember, in the beginning we talked about the plot line, and in a plot there's usually a problem. And the problem was what again? Good. Throughout the story the kite wouldn't fly. So how did the problem get solved? What did they do what happened so that it would get solved? Yeah, they kept trying and trying again, and eventually the wind finally blew and was able to get the kite to fly in the air, and that's how their problem solved. All right, good luck on your test tomorrow.